You ever wonder why so many civil rights leaders died at a young age? And not just necessarily civil rights leaders, but leaders across the world in any and every environment. Now, do you know what the term entropy means? You might have heard me mention it in my past videos. So today we're going to use this term entropy to organize for understanding. So here we go. So in the Bible, God says, from dust you come, till dust you'll return, right? So as you can see here, we have a rock, a stick, right? And then everything else in the background. Now, I don't want you to think that this background is unimportant. So let's start off with a few reference points. On each side of the stick, that will represent total entropy or dust. This rock right here will symbolize either our galaxy or just our planet, just as a reference point. So as I said, God said, from dust you come and until dust you will return, right? So this stick right here will represent a process of dust from this side coming in and leaving and turning back into dust. So dust on this side and dust on this side. From dust you come, till dust you'll return. You sticking with me? Okay, good. Right, so throughout this process, right, the dust that's coming in through this side, right, it's slowly building energy. It's slowly collecting and organizing itself into something that we can see here in our galaxy, right? And what happens is, the closer it gets to this center part, it sort of creates like a spiral motion. Or to us, it might look like something going back and forth. Right, so the dust that's coming from this side, as it comes towards the center, the strongest parts will remain, right? The most consistent parts will remain. So this is what the rock represents, the parts that remain. Now, the faster that energy is used, the faster the process of it turning back to dust speeds up. So essentially, steadiness is, matter of fact, let's keep organizing, my bad. Right, so essentially steadiness would be, once these particles, the dust from this side comes in through this side, right? You want to let that process, essentially, you basically want to take your time with that process, my bad. Right, so as that dust comes in and it turns into what we see today, right? Like I said, whatever remains consistently coherent with each other will remain, right? But the thing is, a lot of times in life, we may be encouraged to go from 1 to 2, but we take no time to collect our thoughts. We take no time to organize what we see in front of us. Now, regardless, it is inevitable that this consistency will return to dust, but it's about the steadiness in the eye of the storm. That space in between. See, most of these leaders, civil rights activists, leaders all across the world of any demographic, sometimes as that dust gets closer to the center part, little particles start to collect themselves around this area, basically, right? Sort of creating like an arrow shape. We can look at the tip of that arrow as the leader for that specific area, or for that specific arrow, I would say. But the particles trailing it, sometimes they can encourage that point of orientation to move a little bit faster in the process. Not literally, but the more they structure themselves, that leader basically can move a little bit faster in the process. See, chaos is inevitable, but we all have this cliche way of thinking where if you're young, do it now. Use all the energy up now while you're young. See, a good leader doesn't react to those particles that might encourage him to speed up. They respond. And the more that these responses become more consistent, so to say, it allows these particles to sort of exist in total entropy. The peace, the steadiness in the eye of the storm, the space of uncertainty. So to all my young men and women that are leaders, don't move too fast. Try to carry those ideas and principles just long enough so they don't only allow you to grow, but they allow your environment to grow with them. But hey, I hope y'all enjoyed the lesson for today. And stay steady.